Welcome to Soul Conversations with Z, Healing in the Raw, where we keep it raw, real, and unfiltered. I'm Sashira Rodriguez, a trauma specialist and marriage psychotherapist, and this is a space where we dive deep into the messy, yet beautiful and often difficult parts of life. Here we challenge ourselves to face our fears and dig deeper into self-discovery. I'm no newbie. I've navigated many rocky roads and consider myself a recovered traumaholic. Life hasn't been easy, but I truly believe that everything happens for a cause greater than ourselves. Whether you're navigating with grief or grappling with trauma, healing from attachment injuries, or working on your marriage, we're here to unpack it all. No sugarcoating, just honest conversations about the struggles we face and the growth that comes from them. You matter, you are loved, even before your existence, and you're created to do great things. So grab a seat, my friend, take a long, deep breath, and let's get real together. So let's begin. Okay, welcome to Soul Conversations with Z, Healing in the Raw. And today we have two special guests, and we have Kayla Carreras, and we also have Sasha Williams. And it's interesting because of the fact that many of you guys may be wondering, where is Sasha, right? And we have Kayla sitting here, and we have someone else on the side. So unfortunately, our girl Sasha, she was actually traveling up to New Jersey to be part of this podcast. Unfortunately, she had some car issues. So because we do great things, because that's always our slogan, we continue to do great things. So we made it happen one way or the other. So I'm going to first send it off to you, Kayla, so you can just tell us a little bit about yourself. And then I'm going to have Sasha share a little bit about who she is. And you guys could maybe share a little bit about, maybe some of the things that you guys like. And then we'll talk a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah. So my name is Kayla. I am a licensed social worker. I work as a therapist here at Healing Grounds, which I love. Should I share a little bit about me and the things that I like to do, or should I save
absolutely.
it?
You can go for it.
I love chit chat. My husband always makes fun of me. I love talking, so I love my job. And I love traveling. I really love traveling. I love reading. And just spending time with friends and family. I can never get enough.
Yeah. What's a good book that you've recently read?
A good book that I've recently read. I've read so many.
Ooh.
But I recently finished a good thriller called Rock, Paper, Scissors.
Oh.
So good. So good. Had me on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Okay. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about what March is and what we're pretty much celebrating this month. It's actually Social Work Month and also Women's History Month, right? And we're going to talk about, and that's what the topic is today. It's about women in social work and the heart behind the healing. And we hear a lot about, healing and the type of work that we do and what do we do as far as like to, decompress. And a lot of people ask those questions. And unfortunately, I think there's not that much awareness as far as like what exactly is it that women are doing in order to be able to carry the heavy load that we carry as mothers, as wives, as sisters, as friends. So that's pretty much what we're going to be covering today. So hopefully we have Sasha back. And Sasha, you can tell us if you're able, if it's a yes or a nay. Okay, so Sasha, tell us a little bit about yourself. And I just thank you so much for still trying in the midst of all this craziness that's happening right now.
Yes, God is good. So I am Sasha Williams. Something that I like to do, you said?
Yeah.
Eat.
Yes.
I like to try new restaurants.
She does.
By myself.
Yes.
As self-care. And I actually enjoy reading a lot. So I actually also have read that Rock, Paper, Scissors book that Kayla read recently.
Okay. Is it good?
It's amazing. It's phenomenal. Alice Feeney is a genius.
Okay. All right. So as we continue talking about, social work and women and all that good stuff, why don't you guys, I want you guys to really like think about, about being a woman, right? And I want you guys to think about strength, resilience, and the ability to pretty much be able to nurture others while also nurturing, yourself. So when you think about a woman, there's like this song that I don't even remember who sings it. I'm really bad at who sings what. but it's like woman. I'm a horrible singer. Both of you guys sing. I am not. So I'm not even going to try to do that right now. But it's like woman, woman, let me be your woman, something like that. I don't know if you guys have heard that song before. Yeah. Okay. So what's your definition of being a woman?
Oof. Okay. Salsa, should I go first?
I'll go first, just because we gotta be focused up in here. So the first thing that came to my mind when you said that was creation. So I think like creator of life, but even as it relates, I think to social work in this job, I think that there's just like a creation, a potential of creation for healing, for transformation, for all of these things. So I think that women have an innate gift of caregiving, of managing the needs and the cares of other people. And I think that is probably also why there are way more social workers who are females than there are males.
Girl.
So that creation would be my like term, I guess.
Yeah. And I'm right alongside that because I think about it more like creativity, right? For females as well. Because we always have to be very creative. I remember when I had two of my kids and I was pregnant with my third, and I was like, God, I only have two hands. Like, how am I going to take care of this other child, right? But I just truly believe that God gives us like this innate ability to be able to multitask, right? So when I think about woman also, I think about it as far as like being a multitasker, that you're able to, engage in this and engage in that and be a mom 1 minute and then the next minute you're like being a worker. So it's just so phenomenal to me. And just to see that we're number one, very, very creative because you have to be. And I remember I was reading something one day and it was talking about this woman that she had like so many kids. Like she had a lot of kids, right? And she wanted to pray and she didn't know what to do. So she would just put a blanket over her. She had like about 13 kids. And the kids knew that when she had her blanket over her head on this chair, she was not to be bothered. I'm talking about creativity, right? So that's for me, that's like the meaning of like being a woman, that we're able to engage in all these various responsibilities and still be us and still be unique. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Kayla?
Yes to all of those things. Yes. I think to me at first when you asked that question, what came up for me was just this idea of like almost harmony. Like there's this unexpected harmony in women where we're very strong. There's this innate strength, but there's also compassion and a lot of kindness and a lot of caring, like naturally nurturers, naturally caregivers. And so there's this harmony. These should be opposite things, or sometimes we think they're opposite things. And I think in women, it just comes together so naturally that I can multitask. I can take care of them. I'll take care of me. And I'll be strong, but I'm also so caring. And there's so much empathy and just kindness and softness in women. So I would say yes to all of those things. And there's like this harmony in us.
Yeah.
I think that's so beautiful and unique.
That. I never thought about it as harmony. I love that. And it is true, right? Because we're all so different. That's the beautiful thing about, being a woman, that we're all so, so different. And there's so many different women that has made so many contributions to this world, right? And we can look back and be like, wow, as a result of this person, we get to do the things that we get to do today, because back then that was not happening at all, right? So how did you guys get into this field? As far as like, why social work, and what does that like really mean to you guys?
I think for me, I recently actually just posted about this, so this answer comes very quickly for me. But I always wanted to be in the helping field.
Okay.
When I was little, I wanted to be a doctor, and it never switched up. It only became more precise. So then at first I was just wanting to be a doctor. And then once I got older and was able to become a little bit more educated on the different types of physicians, then I wanted to be an ER physician, and that was set.
Okay.
But I think
a whole doctor. You wanted to be
I
like
wanted
a
to be an MD. Actually, I
Okay.
wanted to be a DO.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So I knew what I was doing, you guys. It was
Okay.
decided. But it
Mhm.
was either 2015 or 2016 that I had the opportunity of going on a missions trip with my church.
Mhm.
And while there, we met a family whose eldest son was suffering, which what I now, with my education, believe that was
Mhm.
schizophrenia. I think he was mentally ill, but they didn't have the resources.
Yeah.
And so, we tried to help them as best as we could. I was also youth, so I wasn't really involved in like the technicalities of everything that they were doing. But I left and it just stayed with me. And I
Hmm.
realized that there was an entire part of the human experience that was being overlooked, and I could help people in a different way, in
Yeah.
an emotional way, mentally. Like I could just walk
Yeah.
with them in a different way. So I
Yeah.
switched.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So I decided to do social work. I did not want to be a social worker. I'm going to be honest, people. I'm so sorry. I have to tell like it is. I said, you guys already know this is real and raw. I wanted to be a whole psychologist, right? I just knew when I was growing up, I wanted to help people. That was my biggest thing, right? Going through so much myself, like growing up and in the streets of Philly, for me, it was just, I want to be a psychologist and I want to be a child psychologist because I want to help the littles. Okay. Because, back then I felt that no one really helped me. So I wanted someone to really listen to me and I wanted to be seen.
Mm.
So it wasn't about social work. So my walk, it was a whole process. It was very, very different. I was doing something completely different. Completely different. This is my second rodeo. I was in New York, COO, running a whole diabetic company with
Wow.
employees and all this stuff. But I always had the heart, to help people. And I remember my boss at the time, Bernie, he was just amazing. And he would always allow me to sit with people and just hear their stories. Like, who's running to the whole boss to tell them their stories? But it was that at that moment when something, let's just say, happened, everything stopped and I would engage and have these conversations with people. And I was just very passionate, and he allowed me that privacy to be able to, be in that space. And after they sold the business and everything else, I ended up working with a nonprofit and everything else. And I remember my boss, she was like, when are you going back like for your master's? Because I had already gotten my bachelor's in psychology. And I was like, I don't want to do social work. I just don't want to do social work. I was like, I want to do this whole psychology thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, Sasha, you have so much potential. When are you going to go back to school? And she started pushing me. And she was like, you know what? Let's just both jump in. And we both went in and we did our masters together and everything else. She graduated, I want to say a semester before me, but it was just, yeah. So I want to say that this was definitely ordained, but it allowed me to actually reach the purpose that I was really looking forward to, reaching. So
Mm.
yeah, took a little
That's
bit
so
a
cool.
different route, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Sasha? Are we okay? Are we good?
I was doing something different as well. So initially, I wanted to be a lawyer. That's where that started. And then I worked at a law firm and I hated it. And then I was like, I need to do something else. But the reason why I wanted to be a lawyer was like the both of y'all. I wanted to do something that helped other people. So as I was meeting more people and asking them about different things that they did, I knew that I wasn't going to be a doctor because that was a whole pass for me. But I wanted to do something. When I got into my own therapy, I had a social worker. And as I was talking to her, and I felt like that was a very pivotal time in my life. She made such an impact that it clicked. Like I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is what I want to do. And when I went into a session, I talked to her about it, and she was like, you would be great at this.
Wow.
And I was like, this is what it is, because for me, it was the holistic part of it. It wasn't just doing the therapy. I knew that I didn't trust the therapist. So I always say, like, I'm a social worker who does therapy. I wanted the other stuff too, and have the opportunity to do therapy in addition to that.
Yeah. Isn't it so interesting how same destiny, just a very different process,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That's just so interesting. Like we all finally met here, right? But we all have different trajectories and everyone did it so different. For me, it was like psychology. You know, it was crazy because I remember getting my degree, and at my graduation party, my aunt goes like, "Oh, okay, so like, when are you going back to school?" I was like, "Going back to school for what? I'm a whole psychologist now." I was so naive. She's like, you have to go back to school. I was like, at the graduation party. I mean, at least let me wait until, give me a few. No, listen, I was so bummed out. I
Dito.
was so bummed out. I was like, are you serious right now? And then Tony was like, my husband, he was like, ¿Qué pasó? I was like, she says I have to go back to school. I'm
I
like, you're
thought I was
celebrating.
done.
I thought we were done. But yes, I was just very naive as far as like not knowing that. But yeah.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because as a woman, we have so many different people that we can look up to.
Mm.
I always say that it's unfortunate for men and for those listening out there, no shade nor anything, but I say this even to the clinicians as well, right? I'm sorry, I just like to keep it real. But I feel that as females, we have so many different people that we can look at. We have the abuelitas and the grandmothers and the tias and the moms, right? Sisters that we can actually like look up to. And I just wonder, like for you guys, like, was there ever like a specific special person in your life that you guys were able to be like, wow, when I grow up, I want to be like just like that?
So first thought would of course be my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if like what we were talking about at the beginning in terms of just caregiving, resilience, all of the things, that would be it, right? So all three of us have like a immigrant migration story type of thing. My mom came here from Puerto Rico, being able to start from the bottom, basically became a homeowner, did all the things, had a good job, escalated through her job, raised the kids, did all the things. And I think that she was an embodiment of just women acting out from beginning to end.
Yeah.
So I think that she definitely has been the most impactful woman in my life thus far.
Hmm. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. And for you?
I'm trying to get myself together because even thinking about this question is a little,
Yeah.
but I think for me it would have been it's my mom. Um, I'm a crybaby, y'all.
It's
I'm a
okay.
crybaby.
It's okay. We
But
have tissues.
yes, but it wasn't so much like I want to be just like my mom. I think I knew that I was my own person, so I wanted different things than my mom did, but my mom impacted the person that I am, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Like we're very different in a lot of ways, but my mom was, Lord have mercy.
It's okay. Bring them. We do not apologize for tears. We already know that. That is one of our slogans here at Healing Grounds. We do not apologize for tears. They just come and they come. That's why we have tissues all over the place.
And they come a lot for me,
Yes.
guys. But my mom has just always been this kind of like, she has this figure it out attitude. And I've always admired that about her because, similar to us, like my mom moved here from Puerto Rico and she didn't speak a lick of English. But there came a point where she got a job and she learned English on her own. And my mom leads an entire department now. Like, she speaks great English. Sometimes I tell her she sounds real Americuchi, like when she talks.
Maricucci.
And
Never heard that one before.
yeah, and I took that figure it out attitude, like I don't know, and that's okay. Like, we'll figure it out. And even in my job, like, I get to bring that. Like, I don't have all the answers and I don't have a way to fix everything, but that's okay. We're going to figure it out together.
Yeah.
And she's just made such an impact on my life.
Wow.
I love my mama.
Okay. So I guess that leaves me. And I was trying to figure out, this question. And to be honest, I thought like maybe I should leave it out, but I don't think it would be fair for those that are listening. Growing up, I don't think I really had like a role model as far as, a person that I could look up to or be like, oh, I want to be just like her. I think I was mainly more in survival mode for those that know my story a little bit. So for me, I think I was thankfully nurtured by my stepmom. who I also call mom. And then I also have my biological mom, and two completely different strong women in two different ways. Like, it's just so incredible just to see how different they are. One was very nurturing and taught me how to cook and take care of a home and family and that sort of stuff. While the other one, my mom, she came from nothing. She was abandoned at a orphanage, and everyone, well, for those that do know a little bit about me, I'm originally from Panama, native of Panama. And I know you guys are first generation, I'm actually zero generation and first generation from Panama. And she came from nothing. And I always say till this day, one of the proudest moments for me as far as my mom is that you can put her, I always tell her, they could throw you in an island and you would put the ants to work because she is such a powerful woman, has done so much for herself, not having parents, not knowing her mom or her dad. And she has so many different businesses, very, very successful woman, and so I'm very proud of her, in that sense that she's accomplished so, so much. So I was given the opportunity to have two moms, and both of them kind of pour into me in a different way. So as I was listening to you, Kayla, I was like, wow, like, you know, sometimes we don't have those role models, but they're like sitting right beside us. And, I would say my older sister, I think now I'm going to get emotional because my older sister, she helped raise like all of us. And she's 9 years older, and I remember asking her the other day, and I don't even know why I'm going on this tangent, but I am. This is the road that we're going. But I remember saying to her, I said, how were you able to take care of all of us? Because we were a lot of kids. My dad had a lot of kids. Okay. And it was all together, like about 7 of us living at the house.
Mhm.
And she's the oldest, and she would do so many different things. And one day I had an aha moment. I was like, Debbie, like who cared for you? Because she cared for all of us. And just to think back, on like her, and I got this aha moment that I was like, wow, like she knows everything about me, but I don't know nothing about her because she was much older. And then I came to the US and when I was 5. So we kind of separated and then we reunited again when I went back to Panama. But just to know that we have different, people in our lives, and sometimes we have these role models and we think, right, that they have to be on the big screen, or they have to be, you know, I guess on I don't know, they have to be doing something so, so great. But we have to be very mindful that it could be the people walking right alongside us, in our regular day to day. So I definitely thank you guys for bringing that, because when I saw that, I was like, oh, do I really want to ask this question? But yes, it wouldn't be fair because it is true. And so I just thank you all for being
Yeah.
honest and bringing those tears, Kayla.
Yeah, and I just feel like I'm glad that you brought it because those those stories matter.
Yeah.
They're so small and ordinary, They're ordinary stories, but they're so impactful. And I think it's when we're older that we get to see these people like completely, like,
Yeah.
and notice just how much they were carrying, and they were so kind through it.
Yeah.
It's just so beautiful. So even hearing about your sister Debbie and your mom, it's like that was very beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. And it's interesting, like tomorrow's her birthday, so this will air after. And yesterday I was home and I was like, you know what? Tomorrow's her birthday. So I went and bought a ticket and I'm traveling to Atlanta tomorrow just for her birthday, and I'm coming back on Sunday. And I called her husband today, this morning. I'm like, hey, what are you guys doing for her? Because anytime you ask her, like, Debbie, what do you like? She doesn't know what she likes because she's always been a caretaker till this day. Debbie, let's do this. Okay. She is just she's such a phenomenal woman and I just love her. But Whew, girl. Okay, we gotta keep
Now
it
we're
going.
just going to celebrate our
Yes,
moms and our
yes.
sisters right now.
I know. Well, it's Women's Month, and that's okay, right? We could celebrate them, right? Oh my goodness. We said we don't apologize for tears, so I'm gonna just dry a little bit here, dry these tears a little before we continue, so I can read what I got going on over here. So, how has this expectation, though, like shaped your own experience, right? As a woman, and even as a social worker, and you can go in any direction, with that.
The expectations that we have just as women.
Yeah. And we don't think about that, as like how you were saying, like as a child, right? When we have all these different, I guess roles, right? As a young child, you just see them walking around, woman and, your mom and your grandma, and you're just like, oh, well, these are different things that they do on a day to day, you know. And when you think about like that expectation, right? That as you now are a whole woman and also a social worker, like, were there any like types of expectations? Like, did any of that experience shape, you as a woman or as a social worker?
I think the expectation on women just generally, it ties back into that nurturing and caregiving role.
Mm-hmm.
It comes naturally.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we can get lost a little bit in the process.
Yeah.
So the expectation is, like motivating, it's empowering because I can.
Yeah.
And I feel good doing it.
Yeah.
And I love to do it.
Yeah.
And it can also be complicated because since it feels so natural, we overlook what we need sometimes.
Yeah.
It's almost like we put too much of
I
ourselves
love that.
in that expectation and in wanting to do those things. So I think it's a little bit of both,
And we go into, we're not good enough. I have to be doing more because either this is what was told to me, right? These narrative that were pretty much ingrained in us, like you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do that. And I was always the one that I'm going to do that, but I'm going to keep doing. And even if you say it can't be done, I mean, look at us today, right? I literally had an aha moment. Let me tell you guys something. I don't know why. I'm going to share something. But I had these aha moments, like these downloads, always in the bathroom. Seriously, right? Yes, that's a little bit too much TMI. But I mean, I could be like just putting lipstick on. I went to the restroom. You saw, right? I went to the restroom and then I came back and it was like, is there a way that we can get her on video? And I've always had that. Like for me, I don't know why. I truly believe that God speaks to me in those moments. And it doesn't mean that I'm using the restroom, okay, people? For those listening out there, okay?
And even if you were, no judgment,
yes,
okay?
No judgment out here, right? But I'm like either putting on my earrings or whatever it is, but it's like boom, and it just comes. But I do believe that sometimes we have, I know for me, like growing up, it was like, I want to do more. I want to do more. And again, I grew up in Panama, so it wasn't like we had a luxury life. Like we grew up and we were poor. So it was like, I want to just do better, and I never had anyone to be like, even when I came to the US, like, Sashida, you need to open up a bank account or you need to get life insurance. Don't ask me why. At the age of like 23, here I am getting life insurance. And I was doing all these different things and I truly believe that it was God's hand on me, just guiding me. But the expectation for me was that I just want to do more and I want to help more. Those were always like my two narratives that, and I always say that if God allowed me to come to the US, because let me tell you people, another episode, we don't talk about that because I was not supposed to be here. That's a whole different story. Okay. For another day. Okay. Another podcast. Hopefully we'll have our guy Brad back so he can record. However, shout
out to Brad.
Yes. He's behind the scenes and he gets a scoop of all of us, all of our crazy. But yeah, so that was my expectation, like, those two things. So it was never about like, I wasn't good enough. It was like, I need to be like good in order to be able to be better than what I was before, like a better version, and also to be able to help others. So yeah. All right. So I think we have our girl, Sasha.
We are going to hope and pray that these people working on my car don't make hella noise. Okay?
Okay.
I will say, probably initially when I first started doing social work, my expectation was that I had to fix it. So it was my job that whatever state these clients were in that I was given, it was my responsibility to fix it. Like, you needed rental insurance, I need to fix it. You need to figure out how to apply for Social Security, I need to fix it. You have a doctor's appointment 30 minutes away, you have no car, I have to fix it. And I think that in reality, what shifted that idea of me being a helper or like a passenger in somebody else's journey came after one of my clients died by suicide. So one of my clients, I had gotten a brand new client. I only met with him for like a month, and he was in and out of the hospital doing all of these things. So it was like a new transfer, and he was, super disturbed, very depressed, and unfortunately took his own life. And it was in that moment, because
That's
that
hard.
rocked me so hard. His dad came up to me. He was like estranged from his dad. It was a whole drama. But the audacity of the dad to come up to me at the funeral and say like, "Well, weren't you supposed to be helping him?"
Oh, wow.
Oh, gutted me. Like, that did something very special to my heart. I was heartbroken for that little boy. Like, he was to this day one of my favorite clients that I've ever worked with. And having the dad verbalize the thing that I was thinking broke me. Like, he was 18 years old. He was a baby.
Wow.
And to know that somebody had that much pain and I couldn't do anything broke my heart. But God uses all things for our good, right? I think that was the moment that my mentality switched of like, there was no way you could have saved him. That's not your job. It is not your job to save anybody. It is your job to help him on the process. Whatever choices people make, people are going to make, and you just have to be there with them, right? And it's unfortunate, I guess, that it took something that tragic to change that mentality. But sometimes I think God does really drastic things in my life because I'm hard-headed and I just want things my way, like tunnel vision. If we can fix it, let's fix it. And unfortunately, it took something that drastic to change my thought process, but it did. It definitely did, and I think it has made me a better social worker as a result. But I think there was just definitely the expectation that as a social worker, I'm a fixer, not a helper.
Yeah. And I guess when you think about, well, first of all, I can only imagine as you're sharing, right? And I'm processing what you're saying as far as someone coming up to you and telling you something like that. Like that is horrible. Like it's bad enough, like the situation itself, because for people that don't know, like we carry stories and we carry and we care, so I can only imagine, and I'm so sorry that that was your experience, like after having such a bad experience, like, and hearing that. And now it's like someone coming up and saying that to you. But I think it's true that it does shape the way that we look at healing, and how we start to be like, I can't save this person, because these experiences, they're heavy. And when I was new in this career, I remember I was interviewing a social worker and people would ask me like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to do it all. I want to do everything. I'm going to save everybody. I was about to put a cape on and I was going to go out there and fly and save the entire universe. Right. Until she pumped my brakes and she was like, honey, she was just like, you cannot save everybody. She said, you cannot save everybody. She said, that's Jesus's job. And she said, he didn't even save everybody. And when I tell you, that has stuck with me throughout my whole entire career, because it allowed me to see that we can really drain ourselves. And that's why we have a lot of people in this profession, whether if it's counseling, psychology, psychotherapy, whatever it is, really on burnout. And a lot of people leave these careers because of that, because we're always trying to help people or fix people, right? But it's so important that we understand that our goal is not to save people. Our goal is to be with them in their healing journey. But our goal is not to pretty much put ourselves also in a very dangerous position that we're trying to go out there and save people and fix them, because that's not our job. It's to walk alongside them and help them throughout their healing journey. So, yeah.
And I think it's also important for us as the professionals to be anchored in that truth, because I also think that people that we work with, or just like community as a whole, society as a whole, has their own interpretation of what we're supposed to be doing, right? So if we are not anchored in that truth, I think it'll be easy for us to get swept up in the imposed expectations of other people and fall into that trap of like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing enough, I'm not good enough, I'm whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it still happens, right? Because
Mhm.
we're always trying to help people. I know I always use the analogy of I feel that we are kind of like for those that watch like criminal, shows and stuff, and they have like the big board and they have like the different people like mapping them out, like who could have done the crime, like who did the crime scene, right? And it's like, oh, we found this at the crime scene and we found that. And like the mapping, but it's just so beautiful. I get excited when I talk about that because
Yeah.
it's like it just allows you into someone else's life, right? And to be able to, see it that way, but also be very mindful again. That we can't go out there. We do not have a cape
Mhm.
and we're not anyone's heroes, but our goal is to be able to walk alongside them.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts, Kayla? I know you've been sitting there patiently.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything that you guys said. I think for me personally, it's still something that I struggle with. I'm
Yeah.
constantly in a fight with it. I'm conscious of it, so it's better now. But
Mm,
when I first started, man, any little thing that didn't work out well in therapy, I tried something,
mm,
my client didn't like it, or maybe, it felt like we were moving in this direction, we were making progress, and then suddenly something happens and even they feel like they've regressed. And it was like, I'm missing something. It's me. I'm the
yeah.
problem. Like, I got to do something more. And
Yeah.
so when you were talking about like, for you was it's not that I wasn't good enough, it's that I needed to be as best as I could be because I wanted to do more.
Yes.
And so
Hmm.
there's like this constant like
Doing
woo,
more.
yeah, like I got to do more, I got to do more. So I need to learn more and I need to do that and I need to listen more and
Mm,
all these different things.
yeah.
And it's just that experience, Sasha, was so heavy. Just even listening to it
Yeah.
was making me emotional. Um, but we have to remember that they're not the people that we work with, they don't need fixing. They're
Yes.
not a thing to be fixed. And I remember
Yes.
having a conversation with one of my clients. We were talking about something and he shared something deeply personal. And I remember he asked me, like, do you think you can fix that?
Oh, wow.
Like, do you that like this
Yeah.
idea that they were so broken that they couldn't be fixed. And I remember telling him, like, you don't need to be fixed. You're
Yeah.
not this thing to be fixed. You're a person to be healed. You
Mm,
deserve
yes. Talk
healing.
about that, girl. Yeah.
And it was such a powerful experience, but even that anchored me in I'm not fixing anybody.
Yes.
It's not my job. I just get the
Yeah.
privilege of walking with them.
Yes. And it's such a privilege, right? Like how we always say that we can come, alongside people. Like we get a platform in people's lives. Like that's an honor for us to be able to sit with them and hear their stories. But we carry a lot of stories. We really do. And there's so many stories. I don't think that there's a story today that I have not heard. When
Mm,
people come to me and they share something, it's sad, right? But there's so I remember when I first started this, I was like, "What?" I remember waking up one night. There was something that had impacted me tremendously about this specific case, and I remember I woke up in the middle of the night and I could not turn it off.
mm,
I was just starting out. I think I was doing my internship. And I remember saying, Lord, if this is what it is, then I don't want this because it was too much.
mm,
And I was able to release afterwards. And we carry a lot of emotional weight. And I don't know, how do you guys actually even take care of yourselves also, like your own well being, while also carrying around, like, if you really think about it, we're like little story carriers.
big old mess.
Yes, and we just walk around and we just carry stories and then we hear something, we're like, "Oh, yeah." Like, it doesn't phase me, the compassion will always be there, but it's not like it's like, "Oh my goodness, really?" It's sad, like, the stories that we hear, but again, because it's such an honor and a privilege to be able to sit in these spaces, we also have to be very mindful of our own well-being. So I don't know how you guys take care of your well-being, But for me, it's like, it's a must. Like, it's not even like maybe. No, it has to be. It's like mandatory. I cannot be good for anyone else if I'm not good for myself. So how do you guys take care of your own well-being?
So how do I take care of my own well-being? Well, I had to learn de cantazo. Like I had to hit the wall to realize I really needed to focus. So something personal for me, I actually went to therapy myself. And
Raise your hand if you've been in therapy. Okay, there you go. If you're a
And love it.
therapist, you better be in therapy. Mm-hmm.
And I remember one of the main things that we started working on was self-care because I didn't do it.
Yes. It's like a foreign word to some people.
100%.
Yeah.
And I was already, I was either finishing my master's program or I was just starting to practice as a therapist. But I was also working full time. I was married. I was a youth pastor with my husband.
Wow.
There was so much stuff going on. And so I was available for my clients. I was available for the youth. I was available for my leaders. I was available for my husband. I was available for my family. And I was just lost in the sauce.
Wow. But you were not available for Kayla.
And I was not available for Kayla.
Wow.
And through therapy, I realized that I wasn't available for Kayla.
Yeah.
So then I started taking
Was that
care
like
of myself.
an aha moment for you?
Yeah, I was like, oh, wow, this is important. Meanwhile,
I matter?
Meanwhile,
I really do.
Meanwhile, I was telling my clients, like, guys, self-care is super
I know,
important.
right? You're like, are you doing self-care?
Yes.
Yes, and then you're like, oh. Well, imagine if your client turned around and be like, are you doing self-care?
I'll be like,
yes. Yeah, you got to practice what you preach.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I started doing more self-care.
Wow.
I started reading more. I would do my TV. I would do devotionals. Like I started with a 5-5-5 my therapist had suggested. So it was like 5 minutes of journaling, 5 minutes of prayer, 5 minutes of Bible, and just little steps like that. And now it's part of the routine.
Yes,
Like,
you have to.
I have to.
Yeah. For me, I feel like if I don't apply self-care, I feel like I'm like, something's missing. Like this morning, you should have seen me. Like, we've had like all these like bad like winter days and like snow days. You should see me like peeping out the window. Like, is there a way that I could walk around that snow? It's only like 12 inches, but I wonder if there's a way that I could climb. And let me tell you, I fell because I was really trying, people. I was really trying. I mean, I have a treadmill, but I just don't like the treadmill. It's not the same thing.
It's not the same as
right?
being outside.
It's like boring. It's like ding, 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 ding.
I want the scenery.
Yes.
I want the wind.
I want to breathe. I want to hear the birds like talking to each other. Like they have a whole conversation. Every morning is different. Right? But yeah, self-care is just so, so important, you know, to be able to have those moments for you. So for me, it's like early in the morning as well. My devos, I have to be able to do that, you know, be able to go out, walk. And it's like, I was like, listen, every single morning we get a new sunrise. Isn't that amazing? Like, and it all looks different. For me, it's just so phenomenal. So what do you think is like misunderstood in this field, like of social work, that you think that people may not really understand? Or
what's misunderstood?
Yeah, like what do you think is like misunderstood in this field?
For me, the most prominent ones, there's two.
Okay.
It's either when they hear social worker, it's only child welfare.
That was me.
Yeah.
That's
they immediately think of that, and I'm like,
I'm not taking anybody's babies away.
I can't.
I'm not knocking on doors. I'm not dragging people out. I would see it on the news and on TV, and I'll be like, oh, that is horrible.
I can't. And it takes a special heart and a special strength to be able to do that job.
Yes. And I didn't have the heart for it.
I'm not cut out for it.
I praise you social workers that are out there.
Yes.
That do the case management part, that do that child welfare. It is so needed. You know, I needed it when I was young. I wish somebody would have came and knocked on the door. But I'm telling you, for me, I think that's the biggest one for me.
Yeah. So that's super common. The other one is, your job must be nice. All you do is talk to people all day.
Oh my God, girl.
If only you knew.
It's like, oh, I don't have to pay to go talk to people. Like, that's what you think I do all day.
just talking all day.
Yes.
Just chit-chatting, yapping.
Yep.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like one of the
That's a
bigger
huge one.
misconceptions. Like, I'm just talking. And there's
Yes.
so much more than that
Oh
happening
my
in the room.
gosh. Yeah.
So, yeah, but they don't know. If you don't do, you don't
know what you don't know.
So,
Yeah.
but there's a lot more happening in the room. There's healing work happening in the room. There's observations. Like, I'm listening intently. I'm sitting with you in your
For
experiences.
a whole 50 minutes to an hour and a half. And you're
Yes.
just tracking and mapping and listening. Like, you're on.
Yup.
You can't be like, oh, no, you want to pee. You better hold that pee.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go to the bathroom. Like, you better be on.
Mhm.
You are on. And I think that's so, so true. So I want to turn it over to Sasha and see
She's
to
back.
bring her back into the conversation. She's back.
I'm back. The car is safe.
Thank you. Woo! The car is safe. Yes.
The thing that I've gotten most often is, so are you psychoanalyzing me right now?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Or if not, they move away real quick. They're like, yeah, I can't be around you because you're a psycho. Like, now I am. Now,
right. Now that you brought it
Yes.
up, weirdo. Now
Like,
I want to
should
know
I?
why you
Should I be doing
reacted that
this?
way. But I also think that people think that because we are helping professionals, we help everybody. Like, I'm not your helping professional. I am a helping professional. And I think people think that because of our jobs, there's this unlimited access, even though you're not my client, to my wisdom or my whatever. Like, I was already on for 7 people straight today. I don't want to be on for you.
Yes.
Randomly, who just called me because you have something you want to run by me without asking.
Yes.
So I think that is also like a misconception that just because we help people, we want to help everybody all
Yes.
the time
Yes.
and have no like off.
Yes. And Sasha, what about the other part of it where, like, can I be, can I be your friend and also like be your therapist? What about that one?
You know how I feel about that. I am not your friend. I'm not your friend. I think that it is important for us to build rapport with people who are our clients. And I think that it is important for our clients to feel comfortable in that space, as comfortable as they would if they were talking to a friend or something like that. But we also need to remember that the reason why a lot of people come to see a therapist is because they don't feel comfortable going to people who know them, because they want that objectivity and that the ability to be like anonymous. You know nothing about me. I'm coming into this space, right?
No
But I also
prejudgment.
think that friends don't have to challenge you. They don't have to hold you accountable. They don't have to connect the dots. Like, that little meme that they have, like the dude is thinking and there's like all the math equations happening.
Edit that in, Brett.
They don't have to do that. I'm thinking about the fact that you just said something and it reminded me of the thing you said 10 sessions ago about when you were 6.
Yes.
That's not what a friend does, right? And I think that sometimes people do have that misconception because they do put their guard down and they're so comfortable in therapy. But at least for me, because everybody does therapy differently, but I think that at least for us at Healing Grounds, we are striving for transformation. We are striving for you to leave therapy different than the way you came in, right? I don't want to just sit here and talk to you for 50 minutes about the new recipe that you made. That was great for our check-in. I love that you love to do sourdough. Love that for you.
Yes.
And let's get to work.
Yes. And I think that's so different. I'm so happy that you brought that up, because when people talk about like the difference between just having a conversation, right, and also being, a therapist, it's like there's so much mapping happening in that room and tracking it, that we're going back to that crime scene, right, analogy that I actually shared before, right? Because I need to remember. And for those out there, if you are with a therapist that every single session you have to be reminding him or her about what exactly happened before, you need to find somebody new. Because your therapist should be on that they remember what exactly is happening in your life. And I think that happens a lot with, in this profession, that we go to the therapist and then they're just like showing up. I mean, I know here at Healing Grounds, there is no just showing up. You have to be on and you have to be ready for that client that's coming in because people are looking for true transformation. And I love that you shared that, Sasha, because that is exactly what therapy is about true transformation. If you have a therapist that is just there and just listening to you and just ahaing you and just being like, yeah, I understand how that feels. Listen, you need to find somebody else because they're not the ones. So it is so, so true. Yes, they're not the ones. I know. They're not the ones, Sasha. That's what she's doing. She's done like this. Yes, they're not the ones. So I think it's just so, so important for us to be able to, number one, yes, therapy is not the same as just talking to your friend. If we are on the whole entire day and we have to go home and now I have to hear like all these other stories, like we also have to disconnect, right? It's like a mechanic going home and having to work on mechanical work as well, right? So we also have to be mindful of that because sometimes I just need to drive in silence and be okay with that. Not speaking to anyone and my family members, I love them, but some of them is like, yo no he escuchado de ti. I haven't heard from you. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I just need some downtime. So that's part also, of self-care. So what advice would you give someone that after they've been hearing a little bit about us and what we do, and maybe someone right now is like feeling call to this profession of doing, therapy, or I know for us, like we can only speak about as far as like the psychotherapy portion because that's what we do here at Healing Grounds. But, what would you tell someone, a woman that is actually looking to, do social work or become a therapist? Like, what would you share with them?
I would say, first and foremost, you have to love it. I don't think that this is a job that you can just do because you need to make money. This really is a calling.
A calling,
this really
yes.
is ministry. This really is pouring out on a consistent basis. And if you do not love people, and if you are not committed to being in a process of healing with someone else where you understand how dark it can get, just to how bright it can get, right?
Dark.
Like
yes.
we constantly have to be able to like celebrate those small wins along the way. But this work can get dark.
Yes.
And if you don't think that you have the will, the capacity, the wherewithal to manage your empathy, like all of that stuff, this is not for you.
Yes.
It's just not. You can find another way to help people if helping is your jam. But like, I really do think that people who are effective at this job, because I think there's plenty of people who do this job who are not effective. I think people who are effective at this job decrease so God can increase, so we can be vessels.
Yes.
I am a mouthpiece in these sessions, right? Like I pray for my clients. I want to be led by the Holy Spirit for how to help you, because there have been times where I'm in these sessions like,
I don't know what to say or do.
I don't know.
But you just feel it. Like it just comes
like,
on
help
you.
Me. Help me. And then something will happen. And they'll be like, oh my God, can you say that again so I can write it down?
And I'll be like, what did I just say?
Tell you. Don't know what I said. I wasn't me.
Listen, isn't it funny, commercial break, isn't this funny when, I don't know about you guys, but when the clients come back and they're like, remember what you told me? And I'm like, what did I say?
I don't.
Because I don't remember, but it just shows you that the work that we're doing is so impactful, because it's not coming from us. Right?
Yes.
It's being guided, by God. And it's just so amazing just to see how his hand is over us, that to the point that sometimes it's like, oh, because every time I say like, I hear my clients say like, I hear your voice, they're like, I hear you in my head. Right. And it's just, again, it's a privilege, right? As far as like being able to walk alongside these clients and being like, wow, because sometimes we don't know. And if you don't like helping people, and I think you touch on something very powerful that I was going to speak on, you have to be able to love people. If you do not love people and you're just trying to get into this, there's so many different things if we look at it as far as social work, right? There's the macro, there's the micro, there's so many different things. And everyone is important. You could work in the justice system. You can work, with politics and doing all that. You can do case management, child welfare. That's one thing that I love about social work, that we look at the holistic approach, everything all together, and we look at the person as a whole with all their various components, culture, all that comes into the room. So it is very, very important that if you are looking to be in this profession, that you, number one, like, you have to love people, and you have to know that healing looks different for everyone. And it's going to take some time. Some other people, they're going to go through their journey and it's going to be quick. Other people, you're going to have to sit with them. And that may be you just pretty much doing role play as far as like, how can they socialize, and being okay with that and not rushing that process. Yeah. Kayla,
Or
when
just sitting in silence.
Yes.
Sometimes people don't want to.
Yes. And
they're not there. They got to fill you out.
They're not ready.
Know. And you just got to, sometimes we just got to be like, okay.
Yes. And think about it. For people that have been through trauma, grief, like all these, intense challenges in life, like, why would I want to go to you? I don't know you, lady. And you talking about, tell me about your life. Like, what? I mean, I know you showed up, right? I know you're here. Tell me about your life. Like, you have to build that rapport with them. And you have to be ready to listen to stories and understand that that is their experience, and you're there to walk alongside them. So, yeah. Want to bring you in, Kayla, and yeah, what are your thoughts? I know we said a lot.
Okay, so if you're listening this far and you've checked off everything that they've said, then the last thing that I would say is go for it. Nervous, fear and all, go for it. Just remember that helping others does not have to come at the cost of yourself.
That's good. Yes.
So if you've checked off everything else, that's my message for you. You don't have to do it at the cost of yourself. You can care for people deeply, and you'll do it well if you take care of yourself.
Yes. Yes. Because we can't love the neighbor more than ourselves.
Come on now, Sasha.
Yes. They're about to have a praise dance. Yes. Yes.
Because I needed to hear that at some point.
Yes.
Because I love hard, and
oh yeah, me too.
Once I love you, like, it's all right.
Yeah, someone said that to me. They were like, wow, you love hard.
I love hard.
Yeah.
So when I can, I wanted to.
Loving hard.
There you go. Next episode. But and then it came to a point where I had nothing left to give because I was loving so hard.
Yeah.
And so just finding that balance, I'm telling you, if you leave with one thing, if you've checked off everything that Sashi and Sasha said, just remember, you don't have to do it at the cost of yourself.
Yeah. Wow. This was such a powerful, powerful conversation. And just to be able to think about social work as we celebrate, Social Work Month, and also being a woman, and what's one thing as we're getting ready, like to wrap up, that you would like people to kind of walk away with?
Everyone has permission to heal.
That's good. Yeah.
And I guess I'm thinking more like on my heart is just women specifically. Again, no shade to the dudes. But for me, I think that a lot, women a lot of times hold so many, wear so many hats, and sometimes they're at the bottom of the totem pole. But like, you also have permission to prioritize you and like take care of you. That's not selfish. That's good maintenance.
Yeah.
So I think that I wish, especially like in our communities, right? Like in our communities, I just feel like someone needs to tell folks they have permission to heal. You have permission to want to do something different, want to be better for you, and not have to continue to live out the cycles that have been passed down to you or what you see in society or whatever else. Like, you can choose hope.
Yeah. I love that. That's good. And I think what came to me is that, we have to be able to choose self, because we don't. We choose everyone else, in life, but we don't choose, kind of like what I was sharing before, as far as like with my sister, like, when we were younger, and it's okay to choose you. because you are also important. You're someone that God created. And if you're listening out there and you feel that you're just so overwhelmed with just so many responsibilities as a woman, just know that it's okay to choose yourself. Yeah. All right, Kayla, we're getting ready to
Yeah.
bring it home.
I think I thought of what you shared about your sister Debbie too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what you said at one point you said, "Who saw you?"
Yes.
And to the women listening and to the social workers too, and the guys, because y'all need to hear this too, but this isn't your
Yeah.
podcast today.
Yeah.
But to the women and the social workers, I would say you deserve to be seen too.
Yes.
You deserve to notice what you need. You deserve to be noticed too. And
Yes.
I think that's what I would hope that they took from today.
Yeah. So for all the social workers out there and the women, because yes, we celebrate the men too, and to the men out there, also, happy social work month. We also, celebrate you guys as well. Matter of fact, if anything, we celebrate you guys even at a higher level because we definitely need much more men out there doing this field.
Yes.
And especially in the Black and brown community, that is huge. It's such a need out there. So we do celebrate you guys as well. But because the podcast also is, we're celebrating women and social work, for anyone out there, we just want to, number one, thank you for all the work that you do. My male colleagues, my female colleagues, we celebrate you guys, and we just thank you for all the work that you're doing, the compassion that you bring. And I hope that something resonated with you guys in this podcast today. But I hope you know that you are seen and that you matter as well. So this is Sashira Rodriguez with Soul Conversations with Z, Healing in the Raw. Until next time.